Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina,
This is Mui Masala.
and we're here to yap at you about films we watched recently.
And today we're doing Roofman by Derek
Going
Sinfran.
back in time and imagining how things could have gone differently. Like, what if I made different choices? Would I have ended up here?
It's been 6 months and still no leads on the whereabouts of the escaped convict known as the Roofman.
Another heist movie!
Another heist movie. And honestly, when I saw the poster of this, I was like, oh, a fun Channing Tatum romp type film. It looks like a comedy. It's sold as like a heist comedy. And I'm like, sure, I'll watch it. You know, why not? Like, I didn't care to watch Bruce Springsteen, not because of anything, just because I was like, I don't know enough about this to really give an accurate judge. Even though I
Fair.
do like Jeremy Allen White, I love my little rat boys, little scruffy little rat boys.
Yeah.
But I decided to watch this instead. And I think surprisingly, this film, the way it's sold, it's just so much more than what it says on a package. You know?
Okay. Like, I'm looking at the poster right now, and it's Channing Tatum in yellow sunglasses with a teddy bear on him and like a ring floaty around his waist and a gun in his hand. It already looks fun and silly.
Yeah, it looks fun and silly. And it has fun and silliness in it. But it has a lot of emotional depth and like punch to it. Like, you feel
Okay.
sad. Like, okay.
Okay.
So very basically, Channing Tatum plays a retired Marine, I think, Jeffrey
Mhm.
Manchester, who can't get a job after his like service and really wants to do something nice for his daughter, is really struggling financially. And his friend, played by Lakeith Stanfield, incredible, love Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, love that guy.
Love that guy. He goes like, you know what? You're smart. You notice things that other people don't. But you're just kind of silly, man. Like, you're like the smartest dumb person I know.
Okay.
Which is like a reoccurring thing that comes throughout the show. So basically what he does, this is where he gets his title, Chichiro Roofman. He just goes to random fast food restaurants, breaks in through the roof specifically, and then just like steals their money. But, and here's like the fun thing about it, he's a very nice guy. He just cares so much.
Fair. Also, like breaking into fast food chains and stealing their money? Communist king.
But yeah, like the whole time, he's just like, oh, I'm going to ask you to go into your freezer, but first grab your coat so you're not cold. And then there's this one guy played by Tony Revolori who goes like, I don't have a coat. So he just gives him his coat, and that's like such a great way to introduce this character. He's nice. Like genuinely, this is a character who goes into a job interview and when is asked what is your biggest weakness, he says, I care too much.
Fair. I mean, if like someone was like, go into this freezer right now, I'm gonna lock you up or something, but please take your coat with you, I'd be like, oh, okay, I guess, sure. You're being so nice about it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something like even his victims highlight, right? But sadly, he does get caught
Oh.
because he's not the smartest person sometimes. And like, again, it's just he keeps getting caught in these things of like, okay, yeah, that would be mean and just doesn't do something. And, that leads to his downfall. Gets caught, gets put in prison. And it's very upsetting to see how he's being kind of forced away from his daughter, who you see he cares about, right? I think like one thing that Channing Tatum really, really sells you on is like this emotion of like wanting to do right by his family or wanting to do right by the people he loves. Like you
Okay.
genuinely believe him. Like, and so he escapes prison,
Okay.
which is very fun. And
Mhm.
then basically hides in a Toys R Us. This film is set in the 90s and is very, very much a 90s type film in so many ways.
That's why he has a teddy bear on his shoulders.
He is literally camps out in a Toys R Us for like 6 to 7 months.
Jesus Christ, okay.
It's so fun. And like, again, how he just makes his life, how he keeps going through things, his frustration in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just really well done by Channing Tatum. I think genuinely, like watching this film, I was like, you know what? I really want to see Channing Tatum really stretch his acting muscles in a film. Like, I think he can do more than this,
Okay.
even more so, but he does a good job. And I think partly this film's strength is also like it is relatively simple, but I
Okay.
think it sometimes does a lot of like great camera techniques and stuff. It really like just heighten it's from just like a very simple generic film to something that doing stuff with a lot of like effort, you know?
Okay.
So like when he first hides in the Toys R Us, the camera is following him from like a over the shoulder perspective. And it's a very good long one take until he hides in like the, I wouldn't call it the attic of the Toys R Us, but basically hides between the ceiling, very basically.
Okay, in the vents.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
And basically, yeah, just like that entire scene is done so well that it
Okay.
really puts you and creates a really wonderful sense of anxiety, which is like very well deserved for the current moment tension that's happening. And I
Sure.
think that's just very well done. Right. And basically, then he starts doing this. He obviously is stealing from the Toys R Us. And then he meets this person played by Kristen Dunst
Mm-hmm.
called Leaf from church, basically,
Okay.
and like falls in love, like starts developing a very nice relationship with her daughters as well. It's really nice. Then he meets up also back with Lakeith Stanfield's character
Okay.
so he can get a fake identity made.
Hmm.
And then that one last heights is what finally gets him again. Right? I've
Uh,
given you the whole plot.
yeah.
The thing with giving you the whole plot is, again, it's not really surprising this happens. This is set up the whole time.
Sure.
Like you can clearly tell this is happening. And I think this is what's like so well done. There's a constant sense of anxiety present through the film, even when it's like pacing starts dragging a bit in the middle where he's just with this new family because you keep seeing him doing things you know he shouldn't be doing.
Okay, okay. So it's kind of like I know what's going to happen, and you are making this happen. Also, it's a bit of a drag
Yes.
that it is happening, and I know that it's going to happen.
Yeah, the middle slowness heightens this feeling of you're waiting for the ball to drop. You're waiting for him to get caught and do something stupid.
Okay, okay,
Because
okay.
that's the thing of like how Lakeith Stanfield's character Steve, who goes like, "You're stupid. You're
Mm,
very smart, but you're stupid. You don't act like a criminal. You don't have the stone coldness within you, right?"
sure.
And I think it's very well done because while you could have done this very simply, and he's a nice guy who keeps trying to be nice, and that's what screws him over. That's not all that's true though, because there is a very specific scene where Lee goes to him and is like, "We don't want you to just keep buying us things. You just have to be there. Nobody's asking you to do
Mm,
this." And the point of it, I think this is like some level you have to be more critically analytic to just
okay.
see that because the film is very much saying this. I was like, this is a character flaw. He thinks he has to constantly, give and like give so much, which is
Mm-hmm,
generally
mm-hmm.
coming from but that's nobody's asking him for that. Like his daughter wanted a bike, but he needed to be there. That was his main thing he needed to do. That bike
Okay.
was never like the main, she wanted her dad, right? And think that's where his failing comes in because you see the inbuilt tragedy of this character who is
Mm,
coming from a nice place but can't help himself, can't make difficult decisions, is a person who kind of likes that risk, is not able to quit very much so in that sense.
okay, okay.
And I think that's where a lot of the emotion also really comes in because you can
Mm,
see like how much he cares, but you can also see how he's kind of very much like screwed over from like a very basic perspective because you know that this is such a character flaw. You're going to do the stupid thing and you're just waiting for him to do the stupid thing.
yeah.
What also like set me apart is like this is based on a real story, right? And obviously I'm assuming like Hollywood shines the edges on this person. Like again, they interview people after the film has ended in the credits, and everyone is like, he was such a nice guy. But I'm still assuming obviously there's a shining that they do to make the character more likable. Also, he's played by Channing Tatum, who's generally
Yeah.
likable. So the
Yeah,
character comes out
yeah.
as like, but I still enjoyed that very much. That the whole time you're like, no, you wrecked these two families. You wrecked your own family, and then you came into this other family's life and also wrecked their life as well because they didn't
Mm,
ask to be a part of this. You did this. You didn't need to do this. And I think that is what makes him so much better as a character. What he does is hurtful. I think that's what sets it apart.
right, so it is silly and fun and kind of a little bit unrealistic, but it also has very real like stakes and consequences.
Yeah, it has, I think, very real consequences, which is good to see, like, his character realize at the end of the film
Yeah,
that
yeah.
what he did hurt people. And I think so, yeah, I genuinely enjoyed it. I don't think like 100% it's doing anything incredibly unique.
Okay.
Like you can find like films like this in a very similar vein,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think I liked how it never made him one note. Like he's
Mm.
not a Mary Sue or like anything like that. He feels like he's a nice, genuine, nice person, but sometimes he's stupid and he hurts other people, not just himself. And
Yeah,
also, like one
yeah.
last thing was like how the whole time I was like, this film just wouldn't work in a modern era. Like I understand this is based on a real life story and is set in the 90s, but so much of this just doesn't work in like 2025.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like that's the same with a lot of like heist films as well. Like even when they were making like the Oceans films, which are like peak heist films, you kind of go, okay, but like realistically, being right now, watching it from like right now terms, which is I think it's important to remember this film happened in the 90s.
Yeah. So like I think it's very good. All the characters feel well written. Even like Steve, like Keith Sansbury character, he's such an asshole if you come to think of it. It's like if your friend comes to you who you serve with, like in the military, and is like, I need help. He charges him more money because he knows he's more desperate. That's such an
Yeah,
asshole thing to do. But again, plays into it because again, Jeffrey's just a nice guy.
yeah, yeah.
It's also just a very good crowd pleaser film. Like I could sit my family down, watch this, and they would find it enjoyable. When I was coming out of the cinema, just I think most people were coming out like that was very good and that was very nice. So yeah,
Fair enough, yeah.
there were also multiple laughs when the credits started rolling and it was like Jeffrey tried to escape prison twice more in 2006 and in 2015. He says he's not planning to do it again.
Okay, that is like objectively just funny.
Yeah, and it's just like genuinely funny because you're like, he's still the same person. This is a person who tries to grow, but is just not the best at it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So those are our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. If you enjoyed this, please do share it. See you again next time.
Bye bye.